The Kenya Forestry Service could have misused as much as 1.8 billion shillings in the Green Schools program meant to inculcate a culture of tree growing in schools situated in water catchment areas.
The task force set up to look into forest resources management and logging raised queries on the potential misuse of the funds in a private report handed to Deputy President William Ruto and Environment Cabinet Secretary Keriako Tobiko.
The report lists 8 suspects, among them a serving principal secretary and 6 former and current KFS workers, as the masterminds of the loss of millions in government revenue.
And to be Seth Olale with the details.
Kenya Forestry Service, a government agency under the Ministry of Environment and meant to protect the country's delicate water catchment areas, appears to have become another cash cow, according to the confidential report by Task Force on Forest Resource Management and Logging. The Kenya Green Schools project mooted in 2013, during which President Kenyatta directed KFS to take charge of tree seedling nurseries and water harvesting infrastructure in schools in water harvesting areas, is at the heart of the misuse of public funds. The 19-member task force did not get sufficient explanation for the use of over 1.8 billion shillings allocated to the Green Schools program since its inception. In the financial year 2014-2015, 37,317,800 was allocated to just 51 schools, whose expenditure was 39,867,800 shillings. In the financial year 2015-2016, 666,960,000 was allocated. Curiously, the amount of expenditure is not indicated, but the number of the schools it was supposedly spent on is 580 schools. In the financial year 2016-2017, 545 million shillings was allocated. The expenditure stands at 542 million shillings in 205 schools. In the financial year 2017-2018, 136 million shillings was allocated, with expenditure at 100 million shillings. In the financial year 2018-2019, half a billion shillings was allocated. The task force also learned that seedlings were supposedly acquired from the Environment Ministry's headquarters instead of KFS, which would indicate fictitious purchases in some instances and claims on things such as trips that were never made and expenses that were never incurred. The task force found the figures difficult to verify. That is not all. About 200 million shillings was stolen at just 4 forest plantation compartments alone. The task force reveals how KFS staff colluded with sawmillers to steal 197,845,485 shillings. In the first instance, labeled compartment 4C, 221 trees were declared at 6,090 per tree for a total value of 1.3 million shillings. However, the actual number was 1,400 trees valued at 8,526,000 shillings, which represent a loss in revenue for the government of 7,180,110 shillings. In compartment 10A, 3,000 trees were declared at 10,017 shillings per tree for a total value of 30,051,000. However, the actual number was 9,474 trees valued at 94,911,075 shillings. This represents a loss in revenue for the government of 64,860,075 shillings. Compartment 10H reveals that 7,800 trees were declared at 8,500 shillings per tree for a total value of 66,300,000. However, the actual number was 14,700 trees valued at 124,950,000 shillings. This represents a loss in revenue for the government of 67,155,300 shillings. In the fourth and final compartment labeled 5A, 2,200 trees were declared at 13,485 shillings per tree for total value of 29,667,000. However, the actual number was 5,200 trees valued at 70,122,000 shillings. This represents a loss in revenue for the government of 67,155,300 shillings. A serving PS is said to have benefited from 100 acres of land in Ontulili Forest. A senior KFS official and a former KFS board member are named as some of those who should be investigated. The report also names serving and former KFS officers in forests in the Abadeas, Lamu, Kwale and Embu, with one KFS officer even suspected of engaging in poaching in Kwale. A KFS accountant is listed as running 2 accounts in the North Rift region to facilitate embezzlement. The latest revelations comes barely 24 hours after the Ministry of Environment led Kenyans into celebrating the World Environmental Day. However, the very people mandated to protect the environment are instead encroaching it. This is according to the report by the task force. Seth, Olale, NTV, Nairobi.